Meet the marine couple who saved $15,000 and went on a cruise from Sydney, Australia to Hong Kong. MCCS financial specialist Anthony Green gives us 3 tips for financial success. And we find out how much money you will save this year. It's all coming up right here on Samy on the Street, episode 81, Military Saves 2014. Military Saves 2014, better than a piggy bank. And how are you today, sir?
I'm great.
Military Saves 2014, better than a piggy bank. And I'm here with
Lieutenant Darius Smith.
How much money you plan on saving this year?
Well, I plan on maxing out my Roth IRA and then starting a college fund for the little one.
My plans are to save at least $30,000 for 2014.
I usually save about $4,200 a year. I'm trying to make it up to about $6,000 this year, hopefully.
For savings, it's to put at least half, if I can, 3/4 of my paycheck towards my savings so I can save up for a house when I go back to the States.
I'm newly married, and me and my husband are trying to figure out how to save a lot more money so we have enough money for when we get out of the Marine Corps.
Well, every time I get a check on the 1st and the 15th, I usually take half of that and put in my savings, and I put the rest in my checking and use that for the 2 weeks.
Do you have like a goal of how much money you want to save this year before the end of the year, 2014?
I was thinking maybe around $4,000 or $5,000.
I'm planning to save, I would say, maybe $10,000 throughout the year using TSP, CDs, and maybe some stocks and bonds.
It's working fine, but I have a wedding coming up in December, so every now and then I had to take money out of the savings to actually pay for stuff like that. So
I put a dollar amount, which is $800, $1,000 a month, so on, and basically it takes the taxes before, right? So when I take the money out later on in the future, when I retire at 65, I won't have to worry about the taxes. The taxes have already been taken care of.
Wow, that is great. Let me ask you, how do you plan to save and what type of instrument?
Well, usually I put 10% in my TSP. Take a lot of stock tips from my Staff Sergeant Brown. She gives me a lot of stock tips as far as getting stocks with dividends that pay out quarterly and monthly also.
I have some in CDs, some in TSP, some in stocks and bonds. So some are more riskier than others, so I keep it kind of diverse.
Well, I have a CD and I also have a savings account, so I put money in each of those every month.
I put about $400 to $500 worth in my savings account directly, and then the rest goes into my checking account so I can just use it for spare cash, food, going out in town, such as that.
And how do you feel now? Why do you feel like it's important, and why do you feel like it's something you want to pass on to your own children?
I think it's important because I hate debt, so I like having money in a bank account and being able to buy what I want when I can buy it.
Start saving early, as early as you can. Like I started with saving at an early age.
So savings has always been like a big thing for me.
But I encourage all the new sailors and Marines that are coming on board to get involved with TSP.
So it's nice to look to the future and not have to worry about money.
And now let's learn more with Josh and Sydney Lowery, a Marine couple who just took a 27-day cruise from Sydney, Australia to Hong Kong, and they paid for it up front.
Well, honestly, when I first met Sydney, I was in debt, $2,000 in debt. I always blew my money on whatever I wanted. Just to be, I guess up to date with everybody, and that's not what it's about.
My grandparents opened a banking account when I was little. I remember taking my little piggy bank in there and letting them have it. Actually, I freaked out when I gave the money to them because I thought they kept the money. I didn't quite understand the concept.
As I met Sydney, she broke me into, well, do you really need that? Is this going to last you for a while? And I kept thinking to myself every time I went to a store, I was like, do I need this?
One thing I always tell people to do is live beneath your means. for when it comes to financial. That's what kills you. The bills can catch up to you. If you want a nice car, make sure you can afford it before you make that commitment, because once you make that commitment, you can't get out of it.
But after a while, she was like, well, let's put this much money back and let's start a budget. Let's save our money, let's work towards a goal, let's work towards a trip.
Coming out here, my goal was to go to Sydney, Australia.
She introduced the idea to me. She said, let's go on a cruise. I wasn't really up for it. I was like, that's a lot of money saving, a lot of planning. So she went online and looked up a bunch of cruise stuff, and you know, this 27-day cruise popped up out of nowhere, and we were like, that's awesome. You know, it's Sydney, everybody's dream to go there. We want to go to Sydney. About a year and a couple months out, we were like, let's start saving. And we started writing down our plans. You know, we got a notebook.
We paid off the cruise first. That was about
$3 grand a piece.
$3 grand.
That's $3 grand for both of us, and then
the plane tickets was next.
A couple grand.
No.
Because we flew to Shanghai to Sydney, and then we took the cruise back up to Hong Kong, and then we flew from Hong Kong back to Okinawa. 14, 15 grand altogether with the, you know, the trip expenses and the paintings we bought on the cruise and just going out and seeing stuff and taking taxis. But we saved up for it, so you know, we could do that stuff. We were like, we spoiled ourselves because this was our only trip that we're going to be taking as far as, you know, at a young age. It has made us closer as a couple because we look for goals. We have goals and we have ideas of stuff that we want. You know, we put certain money away for stuff that we want down the road. Financially,
I guess I can thank the military for, they support most of my bills, so out here it's very simple to save.
I just want to feel secure in my life. I want to know that I'm financially stable. I don't want to worry about money. I want to worry about other things in case I have kids.
Being financially independent at 21 years old has been an amazing feeling. I've seen my family struggle.
Money has always been a big issue in my family, and you know, I don't want to follow in their footsteps.
I want to do what I want. I don't want to be restricted just because of money.
If you get wrapped up in everybody else's lives, then you're going to fall in their mistakes and get trapped in their spending bubble.
I'm scared of debt. That's my big thing. It just keeps me out of it, I guess. My motivation.
If you find friends and stuff, you know, find friends that are in the same bubble as you and not get trapped in the alcohol and all that stuff, because it definitely will waste away your money.
For the long haul, it's just about keeping yourself happy. When you're in debt or struggling to make the next bill payment, you're not happy. You're like, oh, I gotta work longer, I gotta do this, and if you just plan it out right, you're gonna be good. You're gonna be set for life.
Josh and Sydney are on their way to financial freedom, but if you want to do it yourself, here are 3 tips from personal financial management specialist Anthony Green.
Hey, you saw me earlier with Samy. I'm going to talk to you about 3 major resources to use this year. One is a spending plan, also known as a budget plan. This is a major resource to be used to empower you throughout your entire life. Within the spending plan, you have a savings account, a savings budget. That money should be accounted for every month, committed to it, and we're talking about 10% of your gross earnings every month. Set it aside. Also, we have a debt-to-income ratio. This is a powerful tool. When you use your debt-to-income ratio, it lets you know what's coming out as opposed to what's coming in. That's your ground zero. Empower yourselves this year. I look forward to seeing you in our classes at the Marine and Family Resources. Our number is 645-2104. You can contact all centers from that number. Now, here's your Samy on the Street mashup.
This year I'm going to save $5,000.
$30,000.
$10,000.
$14,000.
$5,000.
$5,000.
$4,200.
Military saves.
Military saves.
Military saves.
Better than a piggy bank.
Better than a piggy bank.
Better than a piggy bank.
All right, Military Saves 2014, better than a piggy bank. Thanks for watching and good luck saving.